Hi, I'm MrByZ, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of another really cool toy and collectible store. This one's very local to me. It's in Everett, Washington. It's called BobaKhan. This existed in downtown Everett. Now it's near the Everett Mall. If you've been to the Seattle area, probably people suggested you check this place out. Now, for this tour, I've done a few tours of different places, like the Star Wars store in Portland. It was a really cool place in Barcelona I found. There's a place up in Vancouver. But for this, instead of going through the entire store, it's a pretty big store. I just focused on the Star Wars stuff. So I show you the Star Wars section only. But there's far more than just Star Wars here. There's lots of Marvel, lots of just old stuff. Huge Lego section. You'll see a little bit of that. It's kind of fun. There's an aisle. It's like all like 90s, like mostly Kenner stuff, that sort of thing. So it's a really fun place to go check out. I suggest if you're in the area to go look at it. Prices are reasonable, for a retail establishment to be selling things like this. It's about right. It looks the prices look pretty good. Some people may disagree with, but compared to the places other places I see it online, seems pretty close. Might be a little high, but again, it's a retail place. So I hope you enjoy this tour of BobaKhan in Everett, Washington. So we start outside with some Star Wars, and here you see the life-size Fett at the entrance. Then we get to the Star Wars section. You can see there's a lot of modern carded figures here. Going way back, of course, all the way back to the Power of the Force 2 stuff, to the stuff much more of the present. This is their ATST display. This is from one of the Battlefront games. Micro Machines. Great to see those on the pegs. You don't always see a lot of Micro Machines out there. And more Micro Machines. Another Battlefront display. They have lots of displays and stuff all over the store as well. It really gives a nice atmosphere to the whole thing. You can see some of the more high-end stuff over here. Then they have the Return of the Jedi arcade machine. And in this display case, we've got a lot of vintage items. Some not vintage. We have some modern vehicles down there. You see some vintage mini rigs, the old soap bottles, even some loose vintage stuff. It's interesting. I remember when loose vintage stuff, it was just in a bin type of thing, and here they are, all bagged up. It's amazing what's happened. Then we have vintage carded behind the counter. Pretty good selection. Like I said, prices are pretty good. You can see some boxed vintage and modern up on top there. All sorts of stuff. Here's some more carded stuff. And when I say behind the counter, you can actually walk behind the counter and look through this stuff. You don't have to get somebody there to help you. And this is the other case. We see more modern stuff in here. Some more expensive stuff. The Dagobah X-Wing Luke down there, it was $110. I can't believe that's going at that price. Maybe I'm wrong. You should comment. I just remember that being a pretty easy figure to find. I've got a couple in my collection for different things. Here we can see a bunch of modern vehicles and lightsabers and all sorts of stuff. It's a good selection of items to buy. It's not just the most recent modern stuff. There's plenty of all modern from all the different 25 years now of Hasbro stuff, pretty much, Hasbro Kenner, and then the vintage stuff. So it's really nice to see. Plus, lots of stuff that isn't Hasbro Kenner. There's Japanese stuff. Obviously, we saw Micro Machines in that. The old Hasbro 12-inch stuff. I know it's amazing. These are not worth much, but I love those figures. It was one of my favorite things to get. And here we have Black Series stuff, Black Series, and I see some Disney diecast Elites. There's another case down here. We can see some loose things like Applause. A couple bins of loose modern figures, Black Series stuff. I have this end cap. This is all like loose modern figures, fairly cheap stuff. Here we have more modern stuff, small vehicles, and carded figures. There's even a wooden carved Wampa by the entrance. This is going back to that display case that had some stuff on top, so you can just kind of see what's all in there a little bit better. And here's over in their Lego section. They had some Star Wars Lego stuff. You saw a couple older sets in there loose. There's a life-size Jar Jar back there. A lot of more modern, I should say, Lego sets. Of based on Hasbro, all Legos modern, right? But more recent Lego sets, I should say. If you enjoyed this video, check out some of my other videos of some other really cool kind of Star Wars, mostly Star Wars collectible focused places that I have been able to tour and do video tours from really around the world. There's a couple here to go ahead and check out and enjoy. Thank you.